Brother Sanchez, RFG Chosen One, blessing y'all with some more of this knowledge, man. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Y chromosome, and then we're going to talk about the label terrorist. The word you call it, what we say, when we say terrorist today, you got to understand that was an evolution to get to that word. Yep. And the brother going to break that down to you, the evolution. How we get to the word terrorist today?
Well, if you go back to the 40s all the way throughout the late 60s, the government had to label everybody who was against it or who knew the government's secrets and make them look crazy and out of their mind. That's Satan's ultimate trick, is making it look like you are the bad one and he's the one doing good for you. See what I'm saying? So everybody who knew the government's secrets from the 40s to the 60s was labeled a communist. Yeah. See what I'm saying? Cuba, when all he did was kick the fucking pedophiles and the drug dealers and the mob that was putting drugs and prostitution in this country, when he kicked them out, he was labeled a communist.
Yes.
So the Jewish satanic government labeled him as an evil man, a dictator, and a communist. See what I'm saying?
That was the word we hated back then. Communists, yep. Those communists. Yep.
Same thing with China and with Japan at that time. Back in the 40s and the 50s, they were labeled communists. You see, and what that has evolved to over time is terrorism, okay? And the start of that was September 11th, 2001. They figured out, okay, we know it's a new age. We're getting ready to hit the new age. So communism is getting old. People are starting to wake up a little bit. We're going to have to change this up. You see what I'm saying? So they changed it to terrorism. And if you get into that etymology, T-E-R-A is the earth. Terra is the earth. You see what I'm saying? So that's deep. And basically, that's people who are actually connected to the Mother Earth. Terrorists. You see what I'm saying?
Everybody that's speaking the truth going against the government are terrorists.
ISIS, the black mother moon goddess, you see what I'm saying? That controls the ocean tides, is now considered the number one terror threat on this government's list. Is ISIS, you see? And this is all symbolic. It all has its own etymology and its own spiritual energy. You see what I'm saying? This government's controlled by Saturn, and of course Saturn is against the Mother Nature because he was cursed by it. He fell from grace. You see?
That's deep, because when we talk about terrorism, we're talking about a label, and you can use this label and put it on anybody to get them wiped out and annihilated. It's about a simple label.
Exactly, because even if we go over to just common shit, and we see a dude who has a whole bunch of nice jewelry, he has a lot of women behind him, he's famous, he has the fame and the fortune, and somebody says, you know what? I don't like his music, man. I think he could do this better. Okay, now this man has to be labeled into what? A hater. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, or like where I'm from. See, labels are powerful, people. That's a good example. Because where I'm from, one of the biggest labels we use is lame.
Yep.
Oh, he's lame.
Yep.
Because why? He study, he got his books, his head on right.
Yep.
He ain't out here on the street fucking off like us.
Yep.
He's a lame.
Yep.
So, and another thing, too, you can be around a group of guys and they could be like, yo, man, we about to go ride on these cats. You riding, we about to put in some work. And you can say, no, man, I ain't riding. They'll say, you a lame.
Yep.
And right there, you begin to question your manhood.
Yep.
Am I a lame? I don't want to be a lame, so let me ride with them.
Yep.
So labels is how the world is being controlled, people.
Yep, absolutely, man. The whole English language and mind control. It's all about subliminal mind control, hitting you in your lower 6 chakras to keep your consciousness in that lower state. You see what I'm saying? They'll never put anything out positive that's going to help you evolve physically, spiritually, or emotionally. You see what I'm saying? They have to stay dominant over you. How do you think 2% of the world population, people, got us to believe that a piece of paper is power?
Wow.
Let's really stop and think about that,
Come on,
people.
bro.
2% of the world population got humanity to believe that a goddamn piece of paper that I could wipe my ass with is the most powerful object on the planet.
Because in case y'all haven't known, we give money power. It's not backed by any gold anymore.
Why can't I print my own currency? Why can't I go to South America or Jamaica or Africa and print my own currency? If this is really a free land, people, show me the word democracy and the federal constitution, any state constitution, or the Pledge of Allegiance. You can't find it. Because it's not a democracy. Wow. It's a de facto government, which is a monarchy in disguise.
Even in our constitution, it says to the republic.
Yep.
For which it stands.
And that means the piece of paper, which is the illusion, is the power.
Brother, I gotta give you a pound. It's too windy out here, y'all. We finna continue this in another era. Oh, we gonna continue this journey, man.
Yeah.
We the people give a simple piece of paper, y'all, all of this power. Remember when it was backed by gold? Now I can respect that more.
Yeah.
Now it's fucking just pieces of paper, basically.
Pieces of paper, yep, because it's all symbolic, and they call it the currency. This is why when you look at the back of certain debit cards, you see the dove, which symbolizes the dove goddess, Isis, which is really the moon goddess, and the moon controls the ocean tides on the planet. The ocean tide is called what? The currency. You see what I'm saying? So that the non-melanated man has no connection to Isis. So what is his currency? His currency is the matrix illusion, the 666. Yeah. Your lower six chakras, the physical material world that you can grab, the piece of paper. It doesn't matter what object it is. He could say it was a goddamn rock with, you know what I mean, our ancient ancestors' symbology on it. We have been trained and prepped and primed and just, you know what I mean, just completely manipulated to believe in our hearts, mind, body, and soul that a piece of paper is the most powerful object on the planet. And we all know that's fuckery. We all know that come on, man. If this is really a free world, I go up to President Obama, this Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, European Union, NATO. Hey, can I make my own currency? Why can't I produce my own society? You see what I'm saying? Why do I have to be a part of their bullshit? If this is really free. It's not free, people. It's time to wake up, man.
It's not free at all.
It's time to wake up. We are the hosts and they are the parasites. If every single melanated person in America decided to get the hell out and just say, fuck it, I'm done with you, America, and go back to Africa, this goddamn place would crumble. Because the NFL, NBA, okay, and the music entertainment industry is a multi-trillion dollar industry. So guess what, people? We do have power. You may not know it, but you have power to move mountains and to make this whole goddamn economy collapse.
And you know what? Once again, we substitute our power. We turn our power over to these parasites in return for labels. And I'm going to break that down based on what you just said. With all the power we got in the music industry, with all the power we got in the football world, and with our own businesses that we see that can never last. But you know why? You know why it doesn't work, brother? Because let's take a rapper, for example. Now, long time ago in Houston, Texas, you had a big independent movement where the rappers was making millions of dollars out of their trunk. You know how they stopped that movement?
FBI and CIA.
Yep, because they was making too much independent.
Of course.
They said, listen, Will, you can be more popular if you sign. Most of your Texas rappers signed with a label called Loud Records that when it stinked, after all of them signed, they basically stole real profitable money that was coming out your trunk. You traded it for a title just to say that I'm signed now. See that title? You see how we give?
You see, and it's all about doing what's right, not what's easy, people.
Yep.
And it's really deep, man, because what I want to know is what would they do if I just decided to make my own currency? That's what I want to know. Because if I create my own society with their money, you know what I mean, and I create my own monetary system, my own Federal Reserve, you know what I'm saying? What's the problem with that? You see what I'm saying? But the way this government is set up, man, they would kill me, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would be like just like the rest of them, man. So all we can really do, man, is just detach and survive off of our own resources, man, and just stay united. When I look at I work in this, this store, the Gucci store, you know what I mean, just for a paycheck. And I see Indian people from East India coming in there. They're all united, got their own business, working together. I see Mexicans coming in there, all united, working together, got their own business. They're united together. I see Asians on the same page, Filipinos, Jews. They're all united on the same page. Why is it when it comes to melanated people in America, there's a problem?
You know what it is, what I think it is, brother? I think we get a joy out of talking about it instead of doing it.
Yep.
This is what I see in our reality. Instead of us getting busy saying, let's do this, let's do that, we always, see posts about, when are we going to do this? When are we going to do that?
Exactly.
We ask the wrong questions. We should reach a state where we stop asking questions and just start doing it.
It's easier. It's way easier to be a slave and to be a consumer than it is to be a producer. Because you have to put in work to be a producer and to be an owner. You see what I'm saying? There's a way more responsibilities that go into that, man.
You know what's deep about it? Like our people say all the time, the white man got his own economy while we ain't got our own economy. When the clothes we got on is truck fit. We got on Tommy Hilfiger and Polo. We got on Nikes. You see what I'm saying? Why don't we have an economy? Because the base of every economy is the want of the consumer.
Yep.
So the moment we stop wanting all of these white brands, we can have a doggone economy.
and people don't understand it. It's all mind control. It's all subliminal mind control. When you see a guy that you look up to, and you've looked up to throughout childhood wearing something, you're going to say, and you see all the women, wanting him, you're going to want what he has. That's all subliminal. You see what I'm saying? So what we have to do is we have to counteract that, man. We gotta detach from that completely.
We really got to cut the damn TVs off today.
And the TV is nothing but a goddamn device invented by Hitler's Nazis to convince the Jews to kick the other Jews out of Germany and to make the Jews who didn't want to give up the banks, make them look like evil devil vampires. And I gotta be real, they were, but he had to convince the people that. So he concocted a device called the television to manipulate the minds of the masses to accept these people's extermination.
Wow.
That's why the television was created. Go look it up, people.
Wow.
Go look it up.
Y'all just got some real knowledge right there. That's deep. And the TV is not an old invention. It just came about.
Yep.
And the moment the TV popped on the scene, that's when we became zombified.
Yep. Consumers. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. Every child wants every damn new toy, new item, new video game that he sees on the TV. Everybody wants to be like something they're not. And it's because of the television. It's because we should start a movement where everybody should take the cable boxes out of their house and burn them. Toss them, stomp on them, and burn that shit.
You know what's sad, brother? A lot of people that's begging for the revolution and complaining why we don't have stuff, they'll disagree with you on that. I'm not burning my TV. I'm not. I like my.
The TV can be used for good.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is the cable box is their programming.
Exactly.
We can't control the programming.
I haven't really watched TV in a long time. When I do, I try to look at educational stuff.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, every time I go down them cable channels, it's a bunch of fuckery.
Oh, man.
Everybody's selling you something.
Oh, man.
You watching Love and Hip Hop, and right before they get to fighting, they say, we'll be back for this commercial. So you're going to stand in front of the TV and wait so you can get back and see this fuckery, and they're going to feed you a bunch of advertisements.
One of the people I follow brought up a very good point, man. And basically, when you watch entertainment shows like that and you play certain video games, there's certain parts of the same parts of your brain are being activated as if you taking cocaine. So when you take cocaine, the same parts of your brain are being activated when you watch Love and Hip Hop. when you watch the news, when you watch sports. You see what I'm saying? When you play certain video games, it's all to keep you enticed and to keep you addicted. Anything that's an addiction is against nature, people. It's all about balance. It's all about balance, man. And when it comes to this damn TV and their programming, okay, because there's nothing black owned anymore. Every single major news network station is owned by Zionist Jews, okay? And they're going to keep you backtracking, and they're going to keep you in a self-hating, stagnant, complacent state, okay? So like I said, if you're really about this life, and you're really about this conscious movement and progressing, acquiring knowledge like me and my brother have, you're going to have to do away with the fuckery and cut the cable box and just cut that shit out completely.
Plain and simple. And you know what's so deep about it? We say we want this revolution, brother. We say that we want change and we tired of being oppressed, but we turn around and keep empowering our oppressor.
Yep.
For example, we say, I'm tired of our women being disrespected. I'm tired of these Jews running the world. But then we turn on the Meek Mill and the Drake album.
Go home, ride in the car. Meek Mill blasting 2 Chainz, Trinidad James, Gucci Mane, all of these fucking sorry motherfuckers. Like, I'm sorry, man. Excuse the French, but they're not even talented. People have devolved so far, they don't even realize what real talent is anymore, people.
Man.
When you look at these rappers today, they're not even rapping. They're not MCs, because being an MC is an art form. It's rhyming over a beat and synchronicity with the beat and having everything you say coincide with the beat and make sense. You see what I'm saying? And every song was different, had a different energy, a different feel, had a different vibe, and was about a different subject. Everything now is about the same goddamn subject. The beat, the bass is so goddamn loud, I can't even hear what the hell the rappers are saying, and they're talking on the beat. What they're saying sometimes doesn't even rhyme. You know what I'm saying? They could be barking like a dog. As long as they look fine and the beat has a whole bunch of bass, people gonna say, oh, this dude's tight, he's hot. What the fuck is that?
Long as you got this trendy rhythm. Back in the day, you created your own original style. You can tell each rapper apart based on that style. Even
in the 90s and the early 2000s, everybody had their own damn style. Me personally, I think it really went. It officially started to go downhill when Tupac and Biggie were taken out, because that was the FBI plan anyway to take over hip hop. That's how they did it. And then they imported an agent named Eminem. I'll make a video about that shit later. After that, there were still talented people with their own style, but I say up until 2007, when Soulja Boy was put in the forefront. When he was put in the forefront, it all went shit. All went to shit down there. Now people were concerned about making ringtones and just making money by any means necessary, you know what I'm saying, and making music and beats that are completely terrible. As long as they have a new catchy phrase, people will buy them and they'll get rich.
And you know what's sad about it? You get a young cat like Soulja Boy that comes out, and he comes out, we call it the bubblegum style. Now you got a bunch of older rappers around him. Instead of them holding on to their integrity, keeping the culture, the older rappers start mimicking the younger rappers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's de-evolution.
Because the government and the media has to give that young, handsome, that symbol to get the female followers as well as, and when they get the female followers, the males will want to be like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all about acquiring the female attention first. Wherever the female goes.
You hear that, women? Y'all have the power, women. Y'all have the power, women. The moment y'all stop wanting thugs, you won't get thugs.
It's gonna be over. The Jew shit is gonna crumble.
Yes, something, my brother RFG. Let me tell you how deep it is. If the woman say, men do whatever women like, okay? The woman say, I want the nice car and the latest clothes on your body, you got men going out there to do that to impress her. If the woman say, for example, Cameron came out wearing pink at one point, and the women say, that's cute. And you had a little small trend for a minute of guys trying to wear pink.
Yep.
You see, whatever the women glorify, the men have to do that to get the woman.
Exactly.
So if the woman say, you know what, I don't find this thug shit attractive. I want this man that's educated. You know, I want the brother out here that's fighting for the motherland.
Exactly.
All the men will start doing that.
Yep.
Women, you have the power. Whatever you want, that's what's going to manifest, women.
That's why the TV has to be cut. World Star Hip Hop and the cable box have to go. That's the first thing that has to go.
You know what? Let me blow it up one time.
World Star Hip Hop, okay, and our cable boxes have to go first, man. If we want to seek higher enlightenment and we want to be free away from this oppressive system, man, it has to come. It has to start a journey of 1,000 steps starts with one step.
Mm-hmm.
And your first step, I'm telling you right now, is to trash your cable box and to leave World Star Hip Hop alone. Because that shit is keeping you at caveman state.
With everything going on in the world, we see police shooting our people down in the street every day. And then we also see World Star videos of our people beating each other down in the street today too.
Yep.
Now when the police come on the block, everybody comply. But y'all gangsters amongst each other though.
I'm starting to believe a lot of that was promoted throughout the 365 years of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? We as slaves were told to never trust our brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We were put in pens, you know what I mean, with pitchforks at us, forced to kill each other. You know, beat each other to death.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And this was carried on from man to child throughout generation.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when we saw the white people coming around the town, we knew they had power. We knew they had weapons.
Yeah.
We knew they had a government, you know what I mean, that would come after us.
So with that being said, now, to see one thing that we can say is back in those days, when you got out of line, most of the time, it wasn't even a slave master that whipped you. You know how they did it, people? They got another slave to whip you. And that made you hate your brother and love the slave master. But you know what we see going on today? We see the white man right there shooting you in the head. We see him right there. Look, they murdered Sandra Bland in the jail. Now we actually seeing who the enemy is today, people.
Yep.
We can sit there not hiding behind those sheets no more, people.
Yep.
We see who the enemy is. You know, I even got Christian people that's saying the white man out of control. Now, when you hear that kind of talk from a Christian, it's clear that because the Christians used to say the devil.
Yeah.
They blame all the evil on the devil.
Yeah.
Now I hear the Christians saying, you know what, the hell with that red dragon, the white man is out of control.
Yep. See, and that takes a certain level of intuition, man, because we're all gonna have to detach from religion at one point. You know what I mean? It's deep, man. Our enemy right now, okay, are the draconians who are controlling the white people in power to do these acts to invoke martial law. That's the plan right now, okay? And anybody not telling you to save up ammunition, weapons, food, water, survival, living resources is nothing but an agent, people, okay?
Yep.
And the only way for us to do that first is to stop hating each other.
Come on with it.
And to stop hating each other, we have to get our freaking heads out of the Bible, and because subliminally, a lot of people don't understand this. Subliminally, a normal Christian thinks that darkness means evil.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you see on the TV, the television. That's what we see in the movies. That's what these pastors are saying. Darkness means evil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you're brought up believing that as a kid, and you know what I mean, and your skin is darker, you're gonna be attracted and inclined to
whitewash.
Exactly. You're gonna be inclined to being involved in behaviors that are, you know what I mean, in the underworld type shit.
Now I do believe that we are in the age of knowledge now. we're in an awakening era. I see more of our people waking up at a rate that's been unknown in history.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about from the thugs, the gangsters, everybody. You see a lot of good videos out there about what's going on and the struggle. We're waking up at a rate. This is truly the time of knowledge. With that being said, what's the big step that we're going to take? Because we've been taking a lot of baby steps. I'm a fan of thinking that the clock is ticking. What's that big leap that it's going to take amongst our people to get our heads out our asses right now?
I hate to say it. I would say right now, it's at the most, there's about 20 to maybe 25% of the black population in this country that's actually waking up the way they're supposed to. Okay? So to get us to wake up on a massive scale, somebody's going to have to get hit with a bioweapon. And people are actually, they're going to have to, because a lot of people are visual learners. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to see on the TV, there are people getting rounded up into UN and NATO trucks and being shipped off to FEMA camps. Okay? And they're going to have to see their people get shot down in the streets by the Green Beret, NATO, the UN, and the military for you to really get the picture. You see what I'm saying? Because during Baltimore and during Ferguson, they could have did it. The police and the National Guard, they had the weapons, people, but they didn't fire because it was nothing but a psyop testing. It was nothing but a test to see your reaction. Okay?
And for the people that's skeptical, who don't think that this government can round us up at the snap of a finger, let me share something with you. When Pearl Harbor was attacked, every Asian America in this country was rounded up and placed in camps in 24 hours. Every single Asian in this country, when Pearl Harbor was attacked, was rounded up within 24 hours. So if you think it's a game and you think they can't come round us up at lightning speed and have everybody that's listening to this now, you and your loved ones in a FEMA camp, we talking about in a span of 1 day, okay? They can empty every house in the United States in 1 day.
Absolutely.
And have all of our residents in camps in 1 day. They've exercised that power and showed it before, people. Listen, we got to wake up, people.
Yeah, man, like basically Obama and all the politicians under him during the Baltimore riots, their whole goal was to get white America to see black people in America as thugs. You know what I mean? As barbaric people as thugs. Okay? Same thing in Ferguson. Same thing with the whole Trayvon Martin situation. And what they're getting ready to do on this blood moon is the T that stands for thug is getting ready to turn into terrorist. Because now, if you haven't noticed, they're trying to say that young black men are being recruited to ISIS, okay? And they're against the government now. So they're planning, as we speak, an ISIS attack on this country.
We can't give you everything on this one tape, but we finna come back right now with another part, and we finna dive into that. The government is saying that young black men are working with ISIS. All right, people, we finna get into that and show y'all how dangerous this thing about to get.
Absolutely.